So, hello. I don't want to be here for more than 2 minutes because the central stage today is taken by our 4 speakers. Sorry, I feel uncomfortable hearing myself. Now it would be better, but no one online can hear me, right? Yeah, okay. So that's a flop. Hello, welcome. There will be a fundraising stream today. We got like 5 sessions throughout today, and I would strongly recommend for anyone who is slightly interested in fundraising to go there, because we worked really hard to make each of those sessions like really practical, really engaging, and in a way that you can just take it and use it in your own countries and so on. One thing I learned already from Veronika, from the introduction, we should work on our titles, on the title of the presentation and on the session, because to cut it short, this is about year-end fundraising and why to do it and why to do it in such a way that you will get regular donors. It's based on 4 examples from 2023, and there will be a treat, and the treat is that we will be repeating that, and I will invite all of you, all of your organizations to join us this year so we can multiply and get thousands of regular donors. I would like to see my slide. Great. All this will be available afterwards, but basically for the data nerds, even if you like Excel, you are not a data nerd, right? So for the people who like Excel, we have proof. There are numbers in a sense of what happened actually in those campaigns, how many regular donors, how much did it bring, how much did the speakers and their organizations invest in ads. So that's that. Please find it there. And what I want to say, that's the most important thing, and I will be just off the stage. Thank you very much, dear speakers. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Getter. Thank you, Akvilė. Thank you, Dominika. It's a privilege to work with you guys, and you did such an amazing job, and you are doing that such amazing job every freaking day. That's cool. You rock. Thank you. If you will be interested in anything that's being said, and if you will want to join this year's regular donor fundraising Christmas thing, just write me on my email. You can see there now, and I will repeat that again on the end of the presentation. If you will write me, I will add you to the group. There will be a shared folder with content. There will be a communication channel run by Akvilė, where we will all, during the coming months, share our plans, our content, our strategies, whatever. And there also will be some support calls in November and December. So ideally, we will actually do it for this year, and this year in our movement we will gather thousands of new regular donors. And with that, Julia, it's yours.
Thank you, and the thingy thing. Okay, so I'm Julia, and I will start with a story about living up our fundraising strategy in Anima International. So, what the story is about? It's about an organization that worked for many years before this last fundraiser. But we were kind of struggling with our fundraising strategy. Maybe it sounds familiar to you. Maybe you are stuck in the patterns that don't work as well as they could be. And maybe you are doing some little tweaks, changing some things, but in the end, it's like the same story every year. And you feel like you need to do something different, do more, get more donors, really help the organization grow so that animals could be helped. And in our organization, last year, we got an idea. Maybe we'll do completely different fundraising strategy for this year and year campaign. And we were kind of hesitant about it because we were not really sure if it will work. When Ola, the coordinator of this fundraiser, who should be here, but she's sick, so send her warm thoughts, proposed this strategy, we were kind of Ola, are you crazy? I mean, like, previous strategies worked fine. Why do we have to change something? So like, it's uncomfortable. But we did it. We stuck with the plan, and we really made some changes to our fundraising strategy, and it worked. And how do we know it worked? This is the last slide with numbers, by the way. But just to give you some context, this fundraiser raised twice as much money as our previous most successful fundraiser. And you can see it across all metrics. So it's not only about the total sum that was collected, but it's also about the number of single donors and about average single donation. So as you can see, also like average single donation also increased twice. So like those were crazy numbers for us.
Can you explain why the average donation was higher?
Yes, of course I can, but let like your mind wander about it for a bit, because I will get into more details later. So it's not a story about the numbers. It's a story about narratives. It's a story about strategy. It's a story about the mindset. So those are a few things that really worked together to create the success. Like, I really believe that they are all synergetic and that they all work together. So I will give some more examples now. So I think this is like one of the most important things that you need to remember in fundraising. Like, your supporters already love animals. Like, they already know that animals are suffering. They don't want animals to suffer, and you really don't need to convince them that animals shouldn't suffer. Your supporters are empathetic, good, kind people. What you need to do is you need to show them the way to change the reality. You need to convince them that they can have power to change the things. So the fundraiser was focused on the Furban, and we really were able to empower our supporters to show them that, yes, it's every single one of them that have the power to change the story and to end the animal suffering.
Yeah, and I will just add that our experience is exactly the same. We actually just launched a couple of weeks ago a new fundraising campaign, and we sent out 16 letters. None of them talked about animal suffering, and it only focused on the person. And the fundraising campaign is going very well.
Yeah, I need to like agree, because I was used to like sending emails, and every time I was convincing people like, look at the suffering of the animals, it's so bad, you need to change it. But then I tried out to like write an email that is only like about the supporter and telling them that they are the perfect person to change stuff, and it was the best letter actually, and every time it is like.
Yeah, to add more to those really good points, like this is like the second element of this like perfect fundraising potion. It's not only empowerment, it's also stop talking about you, like shut up about your organization. Like, you need to focus on the supporter and on their role in ending animal suffering. So like, if you look at the copy of your email and there are too many our organization and stuff, like, just cross it out. You don't need that. And like, to add more about, like, you don't always need to add like very graphic photos and to really talk at length about animal suffering. Like, this is the most successful email we got from this campaign. Like, it got over 6,000 euros in donations, and there is no photo of suffering animal. Like, the email only focuses on the supporter, on how they can change the world now if they act now.
Actually, we used the same visual as well in social media, and it worked as well. Yeah.
When I
Good.
saw it for the first time, the calendar, like, I cannot wait to use it in my letter this year. Like, this is the only thing I'm focusing on. Like, I will use that thing. Like, it looks so good.
I will ask you later how it went. It's also a story. The story was also about building a momentum and telling a story of success. Like, of course, we can't show like the end of suffering now, but we can show people how their donations are changing the world by showing them the progress of the campaign, like really telling them, wow, look how much this fundraiser already gotten. And it's both about like thanking people who already donated, and also about getting people really excited because like, see, you have a chance to be a part of something so big, so successful. You have a power to really use those few last weeks of the year. Another kind of different thing that really changed, but this is what helped us like build the story of success. It was like not starting with the 0 on the fundraiser bar. So what we've added is a pre-launch phase of the campaign in which we contacted our major donors by phone directly, and we asked them to like really get the fundraiser going by donating before like official launch of the campaign on social media and in newsletters. And it got us the biggest single individual donation in our history. So this was really, really cool.
I just want to check real quick. So can you come back?
Yep.
To that? So this is pre-launch phase. So it's not like a soft launch, right? So this is not, it's not anywhere. Like nobody can see it. You're just kind of calling VIPs, right? And okay. That's interesting because like usually there are two, like soft launch where you only release your campaign to the most active people in your contact list, and then you only publicly launch it. But this is a pre-launch, even like a third phase that you can do. So that's amazing.
Like really secret phase that only a few chosen people know about. But what you asked about, it's like really good point that even if you don't have like in your organization any major donors that you can ask, you can always start with the most engaged people. So like if you plan your campaign, like first reach out to people who already donated, even to people who already are like regular donors, if your goal is single donation. Like I was kind of like apprehensive about it when Ola suggested like writing emails to people who already are our regular supporters. Like, they already gave us money. Like, is it a good tone to ask them again? But yeah, it really works, and it really gives those people a chance to act upon their values again, like to really help animals again, like not only by regular donations, but also like in this particular campaign.
I think this is also like something everyone is always anxious about, to ask someone who is already donating to you. Like you're like, oh my God, they're doing so much already. I don't want to like bother them. But every time I'm doing a fundraiser, I'm asking regular donors again and again to donate a single donation. And they usually do. And they even donate like more or higher amounts than the rest of the supporters. So.
And another thing that was achieved by introducing those phases in the campaigns is adding multiple time pressure points and to like not only have one big deadline that is like the end of the campaign, but also to like to communicate the consecutive phases and to really build the sense of urgency and of like getting rid of the time that the potential donors can think about, I still have time to donate. No, the time to donate is now. So it's really good to like also use visuals that show how much time is left so that they can know that they need to act now. And the last thing is tracking. So this is like less sexy part of this campaign, but it's not only about narratives, it's also about tracking your data and gathering this data so that you can know how much do you get from the campaign and where are like the entry points, so where the donations are coming from, because it allows you to invest in the ads. So what we did is we didn't have like a set budget for the ad campaign. We invested money based on how much income we were getting. So it really helps you to like build the momentum and to really be on the top. So like to not lose money, but also like to really invest more and more money into ads so that you get more and more donations. And yeah, okay, and this is the last point, I think. Or is it? Yeah, it's the last point. So like one other thing that could influence like the average single donation is changing the suggested amounts on our payment widget. And it's like kind of embarrassing that we had such low suggested amounts before, like the lowest was 20 zlotys and it's like 4 euros, so not good. So once we changed the suggested amounts, we really increased, like the increase in average donation was immediate. But we also had some struggles and mistakes. It's never a perfect story because you learn from your mistakes. So we had this grand idea that we are going to start gathering phone numbers so that we could contact our donors after the end of the fundraiser and convert them to regular donors. But we didn't plan it in advance, and it was not really scheduled and incorporated into the campaign. So like make sure that even if you plan to do something after the fundraiser ends, you plan it ahead. And also it's important to consider before you start the campaign where is like the bottleneck, like where you can encounter some problems. And for us, it was struggling with our IT team capacity to implement some changes on the go when we noticed problems. So really make sure to plan for such obstacles.
I will add here that in our experience, yes, the first time we created the campaign, did the web, yes, it was like that, like a lot of changes needed to be made. But then with each year, the website, it was, you know, better and better and better. And now we can, I don't know, maybe launch the website in like a week or 2 if needed.
Yeah. And the most important struggle and challenge, we didn't believe in ourselves enough. So we still went with more conservative option of one-time donations instead of monthly donations. And we could have be even more bold with investing in ads. And yeah, we just could have gotten more courage to step into the unknown, into this journey. But it's just the beginning. I mean, the mistakes we've made, we plan to learn from it. And I think that this is the mindset that you should have. Like, it won't be perfect the first time you do it, but it will get easier with time, and you just need courage to start and to shake things up.
So this year you're going to get regular donors?
I hope so. So thank you.
Hello. Hello. My name is Keter. My presentation, please. Thank you. Yes. Hello. My name is Keter. I'm from Nähtamatud Loomad. In English, it means invisible animals. And our end of the year campaign was banning keeping hens in cages in Estonia. So, maybe one of you don't know where Estonia is, but we are there. I added the European map, and we like to be considered as a northern European country, not eastern. Also, when I'm talking about numbers, keep that in mind that we only have 1.3 million people living in Estonia. So there aren't very many of us, and we are a very small country. Also, I added the fun fact, I hope you can see, that in this year, Estonia legalized same-sex marriage. So, yeah. If we have some victories in our country, we have to fight for other ones. So, yeah, banning keeping hens in cages. For our fundraiser, we had goals. We wanted to get 400 regular donors, 10 euros per donor per month. These goals were quite high for us. We were thinking, oh, they're too high, but yeah, we set them, and we wanted to use a new evaluation system as well. So we were closely monitoring how much money are we investing, how much money are we getting back, and how much is the cost of one donation. We did better. We got 524 regular donors.
I would just like to, like, you don't really see that you're a small country, like, based on those numbers.
What we did differently actually was that we were asking people to become a regular donor, but also we asked our current regular donors to increase their donation by at least 10 euros, and we counted that as well.
So did you have any like negative feedback from it? Because like it can be uncomfortable to ask like regular donors to give more, but
No, none.
Wow.
Yeah, it worked, so you should try it as well.
And sorry, you've been asking, but by just like writing them, like you didn't call them, but wow.
Yeah, mostly
I have to try
writing,
that.
but we actually had a few telefundraising calls as well to the regular donors, so the warmest contacts, and it went great as well. They are the best ones. Also, we had the average donation was higher. We wanted to get 10 euros, but we got over 15 euros, so it was success as well. Also, what I wanted to point out that this 8,000 euros per month, for example, we can pay for 3 employees' salaries and cover some campaigning costs as well. So it's a very high amount of money.
yeah, it really gives some perspective, right? It's
Yes.
not just about numbers, but it's about capacity.
And the email list was the most successful source, and also social media. How did we get there? We had a few core principles in our communications, and these are ones that worked for us. We asked only regular donations. We didn't even we didn't have single donation ask in our landing page. There wasn't the opportunity to donate single donations.
Were people confused why you don't let them choose single donation?
No one told us that they were confused. So maybe not, I hope. Also, we had in this, for example, in this letter, we had CTA of increase your donation, what we sent out to the regular donors. And in the button it says increase your donation, and in the text it says by at least 10 euros. So it was very visual, simple, only regular donations. Also what we had a major donor involvement. It's a very good opportunity to motivate people to donate. We had this only in December, your donation will be doubled. That means that our major donor will add every 10 euro donation, our major donor will add another 10 euros. So we used it in our communications, in letters, social media, and so on. And we also had this like a heart-shaped campaign visual, but it was just a fun thing for us to use.
So this sign was letting people know that this is a matching campaign, like their their involvement will be doubled.
Yeah. Also, what I wanted to point out that all these harsh images about the hens, they are taken in Estonian farm by our own team member Mirjam. Thank you. So it was a good communication aspect as well. We can say these are the real hens in Estonia, not far away Poland or somewhere else. In Estonia, it's happening there. Also, what we used was the approach of from warmest contacts to coldest. What it means, as similar to yours, is that we started communicating our donation ask to our team. We wanted to have some numbers in the counter as well before we are going to another segment, which were regular donors. Also, what it means that we did have two different deadlines. we were saying, please donate before our public launch, which meant basically social media. And as you can see from this visual, we all had like 2 highs, and it creates a little bit more time urgency to a fundraiser. So I'm suggesting you should do the same.
Was the public launch on the 12th and or the 11th?
11th.
Oh, 11th.
Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was one of the most successful ones, and as usual, at the end of the fundraiser as well. Also, similar to Polish, we used different campaign phases for divided smaller goals. It gave us another urgency, only a few donors to achieve the next goal. Also, we had these goals written out in our letters, so you can see how many phases are we already done and what's next. Also, what I'm suggesting you to do is that you should write these down. So when someone, for example, in social media asks, what are you doing with the money? Then you have like this good list to just copy and paste.
This is so nice because I've did that like with the single donation campaign actually, but I've never done that with a regular donation campaign. And it's also like super cool that it's working even if you're using those phases and even if you're not, like both ways are working. So this is super interesting for me to see that.
Yeah, but phases are working for us as well. Yeah, definitely.
Also, what we were communicating was how successful this campaign was. It was a very strange thing for us. We haven't really done this before. Actually, the first social media post wasn't that successful. It was a new approach, maybe different from the rest of the posts. But when time went on, it became more successful. So we used the social proof that this fundraiser was going well. You should join as well. You don't want to miss out. And yeah, we used it in all the letters, ads, and social media posts as well.
I wanted to add about like this first post. I think like it's really important to let your supporters know that you are excited, like to really be enthusiastic and like you are excited, right? Like you are happy that fundraiser is going well. So what Ola did, for example, in like first like success communication is like to record herself, like talking about it, and like you could see that she is really excited about it. So I think like the authenticity is really important, and like yeah, it's good to share that it makes you happy and to get other people excited to join in.
I think that we are often afraid to celebrate because we think that the people will think, okay, you have enough. Like, you have enough donors now, so I don't have to join. But it's exactly the opposite. Like, people are joining when they see something is successful. So, like, celebrate with your supporters and tell them that you are doing a successful fundraiser and everyone else is joining, so they should join too.
Yeah, it's important for the team as well. You're excited in your team as well, and it motivates to keep going. All these principles we used in our ads as well. We really didn't know how much money should we invest. We were very afraid that if we are investing money, we don't get this back, and it's going to be a fail. But in our case, it really worked out. We invested over 4,000 euros. And what we got back is from the ads in a year, it's around 24,000 euros. So please don't hesitate, invest in ads. But what it made a difference was that we used this evaluation system. We were closely monitoring how high is the cost of one donation, and it helped us really well. And this is a very horrific picture of one hen in Estonian farm. In conclusion, what we learned is that the evaluation system worked. Also, don't be afraid to use new and different approaches. We were using a few of them, and we are definitely using them in our other campaigns and other fundraisers as well. Fear of missing out is a real emotion. When we saw that this fundraiser was going really well, we didn't want to miss out. We really wanted to scale up. Also, don't be afraid to invest the ads, and don't forget to have fun. That's the main one. Thank you.
Hello. So we are a bit ahead of time. Thank you for that. The practice paid off. And there are some questions from the audience, and you will like them. There seems to be a lot of success with discussing your results or outcomes and of focusing on the donor. When doing this, how do you differentiate your organization from others who may be working on similar causes or other topics altogether, like children's sports or food banks?
How do we... okay, so I work in Tušti Narvai. How do I, if I understood the question correctly, I think our campaigns are successful, usually. We reach the goals and we exceed them because we reflect on what worked before, and we also try new approaches, always try to do it to strengthen the organization, to strengthen our fundraising campaigns just by a little bit, right? Like that's our role.
Okay, in that case, let me clarify. How do we differentiate between other animal rights organizations in our country when we are talking only about those donors, supporters, not really particularly about how awesome we as an organization are?
I mean, I think it kind of also depends on the country. Like, I don't think that we in Poland have much, for example, other organizations that are doing the same thing. So it doesn't matter that much. And I think that what differentiates us from them is this narration, because I think that many organizations get too stuck on thinking about what they can tell about themselves and not how they convince donors to help the cause. So I think that if you really focus on crafting this narration of empowerment, you don't need to worry that much about other causes. And people are already on your mailing list, they already want to hear from you. So you should convince them why it's important to act now and why it's them, not about why it's us.
Now when I'm thinking about it, we don't even put our logo in our fundraising campaigns, actually. We don't ever spend time thinking about how do we differentiate from other organizations. That's so not important. What we are focusing on is catching that person's attention and empowering them and giving them tools to take action. People usually don't even care. You call them, they just signed a petition, you call them, and they're like, what organization? They don't know. And even donors sometimes don't know that they donated to Tušti Narvai. But we're not focused. That, at the end of the day, that's so not important. To
they only want to help animals.
Animals, exactly.
And you will find out that some of the people will donate to both or to many animal organizations in the same country. They don't care. They just want to help the animals in the end.
Thank you very much. And we have another question. Aren't end-of-year campaigns designed for one-off donations? Aren't we supposed to do single donations on year?
Are they? Look at the results. Why? What's the reason? If you think ahead of you, what can you earn from regular donations, and if you compare it to what you get from single donations, if you do the math, I know if you count it, then you will see that getting regular donors is actually better for your organization.
Only regular donations.
Hey. This is such a plot twist. I guess you all bet that like Akvilė will continue, but no, like I am here, like I'm gonna talk right now. Yeah.
We're so crazy.
It's a plot twist. But yeah, so my name is Dominika, and I'm going to talk about the year-end campaign I did when I was working in Svoboda Zvířat. And Svoboda Zvířat is an organization from Czech Republic. So, what we achieved with this campaign, we got 303 new regular donors, and like, it's not working, yeah, it's working. 17 from them were from telefundraising, 272 were from like sending out emails, and 8 we got from social media. I want to point out here that like I used to like think that my fundraising, like my year-end or Christmas campaign was like just sending emails. Like I used to send 3 emails asking for single donations, like the year before that, and then 3 emails at the end of the year to like, and I was asking there like to the people to donate regularly. But I was like so inspired when I heard about the campaign Akvilė, the Tušti Narvai did, and like what was the, like, yeah, and I just got so inspired that I it's happening. That I decided that I want to do that too. 303 donors. What does that mean for us? We got like almost 3,000 in like monthly income, and that means it's like almost 30,000 in like euro a year, which made for us possible to hire 2 new people in the next year. So that's great.
So that is another reason why monthly donations, right?
Exactly. What was new in this campaign, what we did, and what you already heard from girls before me, we also had a special website for that, and again, we got super inspired by Tušti Narvai, and we kind of like copied that. Like, we got inspired, but we kind of stole it, like, to be honest. But, like, Akvilė said it's okay, and Gabriel as well, so, like, thank you. This is how the website looked like. What is super important there is that when you send that email out, the people that click in that email that they want to donate, they are already convinced. You don't want to send them to a website where it's like super complicated for them to donate, because they're there, they want to donate. So what is important there is that there is a button and there is a pre-selected amount. So if the person comes there, they can just like click and make the donation. Super simple. What is also really like working, it's the progress bar. You saw it like before, everyone's using that. I recommend using that too, because like you make that like goal super achievable and super visual. So this is something I'm using like in my emails and in every fundraising campaign actually, and also on the website. And the goal, I never like say like at the beginning, I never tell them like I want like 300 new regular donors. I begin like also with like a smaller goal, like I would say like 50 and then 30 and something like that, and just like continue. And yeah, so that's something that is like super working, and like just use the phases like every time, make the goal achievable. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, I wanted to add, because like you might be wondering like what the amount should be set as, like the goal. So like for us, what works is like the sweet spot is like around 90% or like slightly more, so that people who come to your website, like they can see that they are really so close to the goal, like their donation really makes the difference and they can help reach that goal. So I think that if you're like wondering what the amount should be, like the goal should be like aim for 90%.
Yeah, yeah. I'm also using that like 80, 90%, something like that, like really close one. What is also working is the counter. Like time pressure is something that is always working. Like you saw that like also in the graphic before, like the end is always one of the most like successful days. Like always the last 2 days are so good. So use the counter. We had it there on the website all the time so that people would know where, like what time does the campaign end. And what do you guess? Like, what was the most frequently donated amount? If you look at the website, like, of course, it was the one that was recommended. So use that one as well. And like, I'm always like when I'm like deciding what amount I will like recommend to them, I always like pick an amount that is slightly higher than the average. Because what does that? Like usually it like increases your average amount of donation and also like the sum of donations, of course. Telefundraising. As I said before, we got 17 donors from telefundraising. We like before we launched it officially, before we sent out that first letter saying, look, like there is this fundraising campaign and join, we organized a small call-a-thon. If you don't know what it is, like don't worry, I didn't know that either. Like I was like, when Jiri told me for the first time, like, yeah, organize a call-a-thon, I was like, what? Like, what is that? Like, can you say that again? It's like call-a-thon. I was like, can you please write it down for me? Because I have no idea what it is. Maybe you do, maybe you're smarter, I don't know, like, but I wasn't. So call-a-thon is like a marathon in calling. Wow, I know. So we organized that. What does it mean? Like we called our like team members because like in Svoboda Zvířat everyone is working remotely. So we called them and told them like, Leia, hey, come to the office. And we also invited our volunteers. And we did that like one day of calling, and we called like 100 people, and 17 of them actually donated a regular donation, which is super great, like 17%. Wow, like that's great. The funny thing is, like I organized it. Martina, the head of telefundraising team, helped me organizing it, and we both ended up sick, so we didn't arrive there. So other people had to organize it for us, but it was super great. You can see like the results are great. So like call-a-thons, remember that word. Do it.
And how were the people selected for like the calling, like the donors that we were calling?
Oh, we had just like recently, just like shortly before that Christmas campaign, we did a really small like petition thing, I don't know, and there were like some people signing, so we took those like 100 people of them, and I actually selected people that had no donations before, so it was pretty like cold contacts, you would say. But it worked like hell. Like calling before Christmas is like, everyone is, I don't know, like so emotional, I would say. So they're like, yeah, of course we are going to donate.
Yeah, for the coldest context, 17 is really good.
Yeah, it is. So another phase, like the official launch was like by sending the letters. So as I said, like we got the majority of the donors from sending out letters. And actually, like this was the plan. Like Svoboda Zvířat has a lot of contacts like in their database, and we actually wanted to convert them to being regular donors, and that worked so well. This is like one example of how the letters looked like. We had also, as I said before, the progress bar is super important, and at the top of the email you see like this gray thing, and that's like we call it supporter box. It's like very visual again. You can see there like how many people already donated, and there is this huge button saying like, yeah, just go and donate. I actually tested it out, like leaving that supporter box out, and I sent 2 like emails with the same text, and the one with the supporter box was like more successful, way more successful.
And I would say that the most important part in the supporter box is the actual progress bar. Like without it, the supporters box would not be as effective.
Yeah, true. But even I was just right now thinking, because when I did like fundraising campaigns with single donations, I didn't even have that progress bar there. But I was just like showing faces, like as you did, like in your campaign actually, and that worked also, like even without the progress bar, because like with like you see there is this email line, and there's always like their email, so it seems really personal. So I don't know, like and you see the numbers there as well. So yeah.
So yeah, you should test it out yourself.
Exactly. Maybe it would be nice to test out, like having the progress bar there and having there not. But yeah, just an idea. So this is like a graphic. How did the fundraiser go? You see, like at the beginning, we started at the 15th of December. Then, which was like when the call-a-thon took place, and then we launched it on 22nd of December. Actually, I wanted to launch it a bit earlier. Like I wanted to launch it, I think, at 18th or something like that, but oh my God, like I was there, like it was 18th of December, the morning, I had everything prepared, the website was already tested and everything, I was ready to launch it. And I was sitting at the table and just like at my computer and trying to, you know, put the enter, just like, yes, it's happening. And my email sender crashed. It was nice, like, you know, like imagine like all those preparations and everything, building the new website, and then you want to send it out, finally launch it, but nothing is working. Like all of those contacts from my, like the email sending tool, just unsubscribed, just nothing was there. And imagine, like, do you think people are working before Christmas? Not really. So I was calling the help desk. I'm like, I need help. Nobody was picking up. So I was writing emails, you know, and those like chat bots or whatever. Like, help me. Like, this is super important. I'm losing money. Like, my organization is not going to be able to hire more people. We need that to happen. Like, this company is super important. And like, I don't know, I was waiting for like 3 hours for a response. And like, oh my God. In the end, that's funny, I solved it myself. Yeah. So, oh my God.
But you did it.
And I did it, yeah.
Yeah, but did you cheat at the end? I see that you're ending the campaign like in January.
Yeah. We cheated a bit. Like you can see, like we didn't. This is not really like a year-end campaign, as you can see, because we postponed the end, and it was the best idea. Look at the results. Like the 2nd of January and the 3rd of January were actually the best days. And I decided to postpone it because like I had to, you know, launch the website, launch the whole campaign a bit later because of that, like because of the email sender. And then when it was like for like 31st of December, I just realized I haven't reached the goal. So I was like, no, I'm gonna reach that goal. I want those 2 people to be hired next year. So I just sent out a letter that was saying like, hey, on the 2nd of January in the morning, I was like, hey, like so many people were like texting me, they didn't have the chance to donate. So maybe it's your case as well. Maybe you want to join the Animal Heroes as well. So I'm giving you the chance. Like, look, this is a special occasion just for you. You can join the Animal Heroes like until tomorrow's midnight. So, and it was working. Like if you have an end, like maybe you could postpone it as well. Like it's working so much.
Would you repeat it again?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, would it be like too, like, I don't know, cheesy to do it this year again? But I think I'm gonna do it. Like
yeah,
people
you
don't
should.
remember.
You definitely should.
People don't remember. Like even like when you're recycling emails, you're like writing the same emails as you did last year. Sometimes you're thinking, oh my God, the people will know. People will know. They don't know. They don't know. I know it's a secret, but they don't know. Like never. Like sometimes I'm like just rewriting the same letters and like, no, nobody cares. No, nobody ever mentioned that. So like do it. And maybe I would do that as well.
But also like it's true, right? Because I think that this like email is great because it's like very like human and very like relevant and like really making people feel special, like that you're extending the deadline for them. But it's also like true, like really many people won't donate during Christmas because they will miss the deadline. So like you are giving them a chance.
Yeah. I think it's about the building momentum, as you said. Like it's superhuman actually to send something like that. And social media, I don't have to say like so much about it. Like we gained, I don't know what I said, like 8 new regular donors from social media because we didn't really like concentrate on it. We didn't really use social media as much, and I'm regretting that because the results were actually really nice. Like if you saw the investment and then you compare it like what we got, like how many donors we got, it was really, and when you heard like Getter talking about her social media and what they achieved, oh my God, like use social media, invest in ads. Like I would do that for sure. So what was like so successful? What would I do again? What was working for us actually? It was not starting the campaign with 0 donors. That was the call-a-thon, like before starting the website. Then organizing the call-a-thon. So don't start with a 0. Organize the call-a-thon if you can. It will help your team. It will help your fundraiser. Sending a lot of letters is also important. Don't be afraid to communicate. If you think something is important, communicate it. Like it's always, if you think you have to stress out something to your friend, you would also text them multiple times and not just tell them once. So don't be afraid to communicate. And postponing the end was also working. What was not working that well, we didn't invest that much into ads, and I would do that like this year. I will do that this year. I promise you here now. You can ask me next year. And thank you for your attention. This is Aisha, and if you want to see more pictures of Aisha, you can join my other session in the afternoon. No. You don't want two speakers.
Can we do a bit more questions? Okay. This one is really interesting. Now I lost it. Where was that? How do you keep the donors? Do you send them emails regularly, or do they get exclusive content? How do you keep your donors afterwards?
I will send them, like I always send everything to the donors. Like they are the most committed ones. They should get all the information. They should get all the emails, because there you will see that they will mostly be like the most active supporters you have on your mailing list. So don't leave them out. Like if they don't like specifically say that, and they usually don't, so don't leave them out, never.
Yeah, me too.
Same.
Thank you. This one is for you, Akvilė, because I think you have things to say about that. How big or small of a fundraising team is enough? Can a single person carry on their backs at least the first campaign?
Yes.
Can you elaborate?
Yeah. One person. It will be, of course, like tougher to do it alone. But if you have some, like if you have, I don't know, like if you don't have a programmer, I imagine this one person being a copywriter, then yeah, you can do a blog page in your website and just kind of put a link to donate there, or send people straight to donation gate. The most important thing is creating that content, so if you are able to do that, please do it. Don't. And I will show in my presentation, actually, like 1 year we had only 1.5 people working on our fundraising campaign, and we got donors. So yes, it's possible. It's tougher.
I agree to that. I did that campaign also almost alone. I had of course there was colleagues helping me with the website. Of course we had a company that was taking care of the website, but the emails I wrote them myself. The analysis, everything, I did it myself.
How do you reach new donors who are not aware of animal suffering, and how much success have you had with reaching new donors?
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
Gladly. How do you reach new donors who are not aware of animal suffering?
We actually used Facebook ads, meta ads. We invested quite amount of money into them. We perfected it, all the visuals, all the social proof, primary texts, everything. We tested. We saw what was what got us good results, what didn't. We closed some of them which didn't show any results. So yeah, meta ads, don't be afraid to invest and test it out.
Okay, so I guess it's my turn now. Hi. So first of all, I just want to say that I stand behind every single thing these girls said. My presentation will be a bit different, but recently, a few weeks ago, we launched a fundraising campaign in Tušti Narvai, and because I was so eager to try their approaches, their tactics, and right now, after 2 weeks of this campaign is on its way to become the most successful campaign in Tušti Narvai history. Yeah. So really, these things do work. We are using the phases. We are putting money into ads. We use that double deadline thing, so definitely do that. It really, really, really works. But I will focus more on in my presentation on why we do it every year and why you should do it every year. Okay, just some context. Tušti Narvai is a really small organization. We only have 7 employees, but most of them work less than full-time, so it equals 4.5 full-time equivalents. So we did 5 end-of-the-year fundraising campaigns. We started in 2019, and during these campaigns, 1,077 regular donors joined during them. And I estimated that these people already donated in these 5 years around 200,000 euros. For us, it is a lot. What it means for Tušti Narvai, so at this point, every single month we get an amount of euros that lets us pay 3 full-time employees' salaries. So again, like, that means a lot for us. So, okay, so I will quickly go through our results of our 5 fundraising campaigns. And so we started very strong, 2019. This was the first, not only the first end of the year campaign, but also first proper fundraising campaign, like asking for regular donations. So we got a lot of low-hanging fruits, so people who were already ready to join, but were not asked properly, they joined here. Volunteers joined, employees joined. So this was a successful campaign. Now in 2020, our expectation wasn't as high. We reached our goal. We just knew that this time it will be a bit lower, just because like the first year we did the donation matching thing. This year it wasn't like that. But what I want to kind of underline and emphasize is that if in 2019 it took us X amount of hours to prepare this campaign, then in 2020 it took us half as much time. Why? Because we already had a website that we knew was working. We already had some emails that we knew was working, so we could reuse them. We already knew how to do call-a-thons. We already had so much insight. So we kind of copied what worked before, implemented some changes, right? So in 2021, again, we launched a campaign, and this time there was a donation matching again. We reached our goal. More than 250 people joined that year. And this time it took us 3 times less time to prepare this campaign. Again, why? Because we not only had things that were working, but we had the experience of 2 years, and that means the content, again, more content to reuse, yeah, just more experience. Then 2022 came, and it was a tougher times for Tušti Narvai, and that's the campaign where only 1.5 people worked on. So we were thinking of not doing it that year. And actually, our goal was 30 regular donors. 30 regular donors. And we only did this campaign because Jiri told us that don't break this tradition. If you will break this, you will start skipping years. Just do it. 30 is enough. Okay, let's do it. Let's launch it. We only communicated in letters. And so, yeah, and we got 160 regular donors, which would not have joined if we listened to that and to those excuses that we don't have the capacity. And this time, I kid you not, it took us 10 times less to prepare this campaign because, like, yeah, we just used the exact same website and even reused some of the emails from that year.
I think. Yeah, this is just like such a perfect example showing that you can really reuse the same stuff all like over and over again, and it's still working. Like
absolutely, yes. Our website didn't change like a bit. Like copies changed. We perfected our way of doing things, of communicating. But like, it's really the change is just not that big.
So like you really recommend like putting the hours in like this first year you are doing like the new fundraising strategy, like it pays off like
Absolutely.
year after year.
Yeah, absolutely. And keep in mind that you will repeat it. Just keep that in mind. You will approach it a bit differently because you will reflect on your campaigns. You will, I don't know, you will just gather maybe more data and more stats on what was happening the year before. So.
I think that the thing with the websites, I'm just thinking, like, it's the same if you're creating a website for petitions, you know, it's always the same story. If you, like, it takes a lot of work at the beginning, like the first year, the first website is always like, really, like, you have to work hard on it, like, there's so much to do, but then, like, every year, every other petition, every other fundraiser, you can just reuse it, and the works, like, the hours you're working on it, like, gets lower.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and 2023 came, and again, we had a situation where we didn't have a lot of capacity to prepare for that campaign just because we launched days prior, launched a campaign, a big campaign, like a petition that we worked really hard on. So, but still we managed to get more than 200 donors, and we knew that we will reach 200 that time, even though knowing that we didn't really put that many hours into it because yeah, we already had 4 years of experience. Like, that's a lot. Yeah, and this time I would say that we spent 7 times less amount of hours. And again, I want to emphasize, we had all the reasons to not do these campaigns, like legit sounding reasons not to do these campaigns. But I'm so happy with it because, like, at this point, we have 5 years of content. We have a website that is working. We have, you know, letters we can just copy. Like, that's a lot of things that we can again reuse and maybe perfect a little bit.
I just wanted to add that, like, you don't have to only reuse your letters, but if you have like other fundraiser friends, you can also use their letters, and that's actually what I did. So you get like inspired by them, not stealing them, but inspired by them, and that's actually what I did. Like, and one of the best letters I ever sent was actually from Akvilė. I just like translated it a bit, and it's like the best one, really. So like,
We are doing this
like,
exact same
like
thing.
You can invite us for a coffee or something, and maybe we will like. No, there will be a file with all our letters and like all the results. So if you want to have them, if you want to like get inspired by them or steal them or something, just like text Jiri, write him, get in touch with him, and he will add you to our great fundraiser group.
Free content.
Yeah. Free content, exactly. So I'm happy that we did this. To kind of repeat what I already said, but why we do it every year, it is an opportunity to learn. In our work, it's so rare to do the exact same campaign every year. It's so rare not to use this opportunity, in my eyes, not to be dramatic, but it's a sin. Like, really, I don't know. It's insane. Like, all you need to do, so you have one campaign and you know it was working, and then you kind of can sit down and say, okay, what if I do the phases this year, and that's enough, and that's absolutely enough. I will try out phases, and then you can see that, you know, the conversion rates are higher and stuff like that, and then the next year, maybe, you know what, I will add that progress bar or whatever. So yeah, it's a great opportunity to learn. So please, if you do it the first year, repeat it. Even if you don't have that much capacity, 1.5 people is enough. Plus, it's one of the easiest ways to get donors. Why? Because, again, to repeat, all you need to do is use what worked before, plus implement lessons from last year. That's all you need to do when repeating your campaign. And
can I have a question? Like, because like maybe part of the question is why end year. So do you think there's anything special about like the time of the year we are doing these campaigns, like the magic of Christmas or something?
Oh yeah. Like statistically, most people give in December, and actually, the last day of the year is the day when most people give donations. So use that time, use it.
But then you see your your campaign you're doing right now, and it's becoming one of the most successful ones anyway. So yeah, I would say like people are emotional around Christmas. They tend to donate more, but still you can do a spring campaign as well or a summer campaign. And that's funny thing because people usually say that in the summer, not so many donors will donate, but no, look, Gabrielle, from Tušti Narvai, she's showing their number, current number. Look, that's the number of the regular donors they just got, today. Until today.
339.
Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. Don't ever listen to people who say, "Oh, did you know that people are less likely to give?" You ask and you get. That's all. Okay, so now, so I just want to illustrate how did we implement, how we used what worked before and implemented lessons from last year. So again, we mentioned this so many times, as we reused content, we reused our emails, and we sent a couple of years in a row, we sent the same exact emails, and that worked. So that's how we reused it, right? But also we implemented changes, and the first time we did it, I think when I looked at it, we sent a letter out every 3 to 4 days. Now we're sending letters almost every day. We just kind of we are letter attacking people, as one of our contacts said to us. So
don't be afraid to communicate, really. I know it seems intense. I know we are afraid to send so many emails. And there will be some people unsubscribing, but actually when I check the numbers, the percentage of people that will unsubscribe is not higher than the average. It's not. Some people will tell you they don't like that, but still you will get so many other donors that will follow your emails, will like to donate, will like to sign the petitions and everything. So don't be afraid of it.
Absolutely.
I know it's a huge step. I know it's a huge change probably, but still it's working. It's really working.
Yeah, actually on the 31st of December, we sent out a couple of emails.
In one day?
In one day.
Wow.
Yeah, we do the same thing every year. So another way we do this is we use the website that worked before, and I do fight the urge to create something new every single year, and thank God I have Jiri. But he is reminding me all the time that, don't fix what is working already, don't just go focus on other stuff. And I'm very happy that we're doing it, but we are learning more and more about how to communicate about the reader, right? So we change text. We change the way we do, I don't know, the pictures we use or whatever. So we kind of edited, but, if it's working, we're keeping the same website. And okay, so sometimes you learn, you think you learn lessons, but that are not, they're not correct. So if I did this presentation a year ago, I would say, oh, so we learned that for us, ads are not working, guys. So we are focusing more on letters and we are not touching, ads are not working in fundraising for Tušti Narvai. And then I heard girls' presentations, and I was like, we are not worse than, why are we different? We are not different. We need to tackle this. And at this point, in our end of the summer fundraising campaign, we started working with ads, and right now we have around 40 regular donors who donated from ads. So sometimes you learn lessons that are not correct, and you need to check what you learn with others. So yeah, and again, if there's one thing that you take from this presentation is please make it a tradition. Please don't break it. You don't have capacity, whatever, launch what you have. Just make it a tradition, because you can, our 2022 campaign, we got 160 regular donors, and And we might have skipped that if not Parire.
I will make it a tradition. You convinced me.
Oh, I'm so happy. Yay. Okay, and now a quick bonus round. 3 lessons we learned throughout those 5 years. So first of all, again, reuse. Don't be afraid. I know it's uncomfortable, but please reuse. People don't remember. People don't remember. Another thing, more content equals more donors, or never decide for the people, for the readers, if they will donate or not, right? I like to tell the story about how in 2022, we were thinking about not sending a letter, the last letter of the year, because it wasn't as good. And people who already wanted to donate, they already donated, so maybe let's not bother them, whatever. And yeah, we got a lot, like this was the most successful letter of the year. So I again, I'm so happy that we sent it out and got those donors.
So for me, the lesson, like this lesson I learned like from the last year and year campaign, when I was deciding if I want to send an email on Christmas Eve. And I was like, I don't know, I don't want to bother people, like they are preparing for Christmas and stuff. And I'm glad I decided to send out an email, because like I made a copy about like making this Christmas gift for animals, like you give gifts for your closed ones, and maybe you can help animals as well. And it was really successful email. So like never decide for donors. Like I think it's really cool lesson and a good way to put it.
Amazing. And the third one is, don't educate, but inspire and empower instead, right? Because people, like what Julia said, people already know that animals are suffering. They are in your contact list already, so they know. What they don't know is that they have the power to change it, and that's your job to do it. Empower them, give them the tools to help animals. That is what they want to do. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Another question. How long does the planning and organizing part of the campaign last? And usually how long is the campaign live? So about the planning and execution, and maybe a bit about follow-up, how demanding it is, and how do you guys, consider it time-wise?
We are starting approximately at least 1 month before, maybe even more. In Nähtamatud Loomad, the whole team is participating, and fundraiser lasts about 1 month. Yeah.
It differs for us. So the shortest one was in 2022 when we got 160. It only lasted for 2 weeks, but yeah, some like 3 weeks.
Yeah, ours lasted also like 14 days. And the preparations, I remember we didn't have so much time to plan it, so I was like really doing it in a pretty short time. So, but it depends. Like the website, it depends on your IT capacity or which company you hire to develop the website for you. I think that's the most difficult part, I would say, to create that website if you're doing it for the first time. I mean, but then yeah, I think it took me like 14 days to like write those letters and everything, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers of Dominika's campaign are really inspiring for me, because they really show that it doesn't like have to be a month or something. Like it can be shorter, but if it's intense enough and like planned enough, like you can still get the results. So I think this is a great example.
Yes, another question, and it's about 2024. What are your plans for this year? What you will be doing differently? What expectations do you have? And also, if you can share a bit, what expectations do you have from this like a bigger project and other organizations joining?
Like for me, it's a bit difficult because I left Svoboda Zvířat and I started to work for Schweitzer Foundation. And we are going to do some year-end campaign, but we are currently like doing another campaign and everything. We will do it, but let's see about if we are going to manage to have a website as well. I wish we would, but we don't want to like, I don't know, like too big plans and then, but let's see, like I'm still, I don't know, I still want to do it so much, especially after repeating like all those like great things and hearing from Akvilė that it makes sense to repeat those campaigns and everything. So I wish we will do it. And the question about like joining, I really hope that you will join, that you will get in touch with Jiri, that you will share your results afterwards, because we want to create a group, you know, of organization that will like kind of take part in this creating their like new year's and campaigns, and that we can share everything. You know, you have the opportunity to see our letters, to see our website, and to like steal that content, like get inspired by the content I meant. So like take that chance, I would say. I hope you will. Like it's a really good opportunity. I would love that. Like, and I was so happy to have that like content from Akvilė because it helped me so much that first year. So if you want to do it, if you like join, just write him.
For us, we want 400 new regular donors. Actually, that's why I was doing this summer campaign, because I wanted to kind of try and test things out, like test different approaches. So this year we will aim for 400. And when it comes to the bigger organization thing, channel, I don't know, like getting in touch with these girls, I don't know, like the results are speaking for themselves. Again, the summer campaign, which is very successful, is only because I heard their stories and I could write to Dominika and say, hey, can you send me that letter where you say, and how do you do this and that? And so I really also urge you to kind of join and just have these connections and get inspired by others, because that's so important and helpful.
Yeah, I agree totally. We are definitely doing a fundraiser at the end of the year as well. We are using the same principles that already works. And yeah, please join because free content, yay!
Yeah, we are also doing the end-year fundraiser, and like you could see, like our organization was the only one that wasn't brave enough to do monthly donations. So I hope we will be more courageous this year.
No. You definitely
we
have.
will.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
will. There's no hope in
Promise
fundraising.
it.
It's all
Promise
only they doing. Yeah.
I want to hear that promise.
I promise. But also I wanted to add, like, for this like joint effort, I think it's, you know, making mistakes is great. Like, I love mistakes, but also like you don't have to repeat the mistakes that other organizations did. Like, you can make your own mistakes. So I think it's also great not only to like be inspired to join, not only to be inspired, but also like to see where the pitfalls are and to avoid them, and be more creative in creating new mistakes.
I was expecting that you will say making mistakes is great, but making them together is even better.
That's also,
No.
it's easier.
And we really want to know about your organization and your failures as well.
So I will address the speakers as always. Thank you very much. This was a journey. It's a pleasure to always hear from you and to see how you guys are stealing from each other. That's also interesting. And I do tend to forget which organization does what, and they always surprise me. Like, I saw this email somewhere, and it's like these déjà vus. So that's good. That is my email address. It's as simple as possible. Reach out, you will get into the group, you will get the content, there will be support calls, but only reach out if you want to do year-end fundraising campaign. Because we want active participation and we want to share the numbers and everything. So it's not about observing, it's about actively fundraising. And thank you very much for mentioning the 30 donors again and again. It doesn't matter, like, you know, if you do 5, you will do 5. If you do 5,000, you will do 5,000. Because next year, there's always next year. One of the things that is, and it's a most upvoted question, like, you know, how do you guys are funded? You know, what's the percentage of costs? All these year-end fundraising campaigns are done in such a way that you get monthly donations, you can pay your own people with your own citizens from your own country. So you are at least somehow self-sufficient, you are independent, and you can be proud of your citizens, and you can be actually a movement in your country because it's funded by the people that live in there and they that want, you know, animals to go there and be there free. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was awesome.
Actually, I have one more question for you guys because our participants asked us for your presentations. Alia asked, how can we get these beautiful presentations? I want to share it with my fellow activists back in my home country. So, I mean, we have your presentations. So I'm wondering if we can share it with our participants.
I think we can share it if you join us and you do that fundraising, year-end fundraiser with us, because that's the whole point. Like, if you want that content, join us.
Okay, so I think we can share it after the panel. So thank you, Hiji, for hosting this panel. Thank you. I pronounce it well. Okay, thank you, beautiful girls, for inspiring talks. Thank you all for attending this panel.